Hello guys and welcome back to the Euro Roundup. We're doing internationals this week and our first and headline story takes us to Brazil. Yes, South America, not in Europe. We know for all you smart asses. It is Brazil who beat the Albiceleste Argentina 3-0 in an emphatic performance. Pato, please tell me more, mate.
Yeah, a 3-0 win for Brazil at the Mineirão, which might erase some of those memories of that 7-1 drubbing they suffered there at the World Cup. But the night belonged to one man, and unsurprisingly, it was Neymar. He got his 50th international goal in just 74 caps. That puts him fourth
Superhuman
in the all-time Brazilian rankings behind Pelé, Romario, and the original, the real Ronaldo. He also got an assist with 2 key passes. He had 80 touches. Compare that to Messi's 65. Messi played 10 minutes more than Neymar. So that really shows you how influential this guy is. 42% of Brazil's play went down the left-hand side, and that was thanks to Neymar and Marcelo combining. Everyone was looking for him. 41% of Fernandinho's passes went directly left, as opposed to all the other directions it could have gone. It was unbelievable stuff. And now Argentina are in 6th in the group. They're not even in the playoff place, while Brazil are in 2nd, 8 points above their hated rivals. What a reversal. Incredible scenes.
Can you imagine a World Cup without Argentina? Frivolous wscenes. But another guy who gets a special mention, Pato, is Coutinho. He's on fire. The boy's on fire. He now has 5 goals in his last 7 international games, very much translating club form into form for his country. He won 4 fouls, he made 29 passes, and he made 2 tackles as well. So very productive, not just that long-range, beautiful strike. But one player who embodies this turnaround more than probably the others is Paulinho, former favourite of Tite's at Corinthians. The guy bundled home the third, and he actually managed to Cruyff turn Messi on the halfway line at one point, just to rub salt in the wound. Midfield partner Fernandinho was also excellent. He made 7 interceptions in this game.
Wow.
Compare that to Mascherano, who made 1, Lucas Biglia, who made 0, and you can see how important, as Pat said, he was distributing to the left, how important he is in that pivot role. Dunga, previously not having it, Tite's put him straight back in the team to emphatic effect. Miranda also kept Messi very quiet with 3 tackles and 3 interceptions, Pat. And all of a sudden, Brazil are looking very, very solid and have a lot of strength in depth.
Yes, indeed they do. They made 3 substitutions in this game, and the guys they brought off the bench were Thiago Silva, Douglas Costa, and Roberto Firmino. That's unbelievable. Players who didn't appear in this game include Willian and Felipe Luis. So they're now looking pretty solid on the bench, but can they recover from the humiliation of the last World Cup? Will they win the next one? Let us know in the comments below. First up in the losers category, it's the USA.
USA!
Stop it. Not for the reasons you may think, though. It's because they lost 2-1 to hated rivals Mexico over the weekend.
They certainly did, Pato. El Tri put them to the sword 2-1 after Rafa Marquez's 89th minute header. Bosh! Secured them the victory. You know what, Pat, if Trump puts up a wall, I reckon that 37-year-old will walk straight through it. He's made a f***ing steal, that guy, and still going strong. Little fact here about Rafa Marquez. When he made his international debut in 1997, Christian Pulisic, who played for the US, he plays for Dortmund, he wasn't even born yet.
Nice.
I'm starting to feel quite old myself. And this is another good victory for Mexico, who have now won 4, drew 1 of their last 5 since losing at the hands of Chile 7-0 in the Copa America, Pat. But the US were also in decent form coming into this night.
Yeah, well, they looked like they were. They had 3 wins and a draw, so you might think, oh, well, their form's kind of comparable to Mexico's. But you look at the teams they've played in that time, and they just don't stack up. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Cuba and New Zealand. So this was actually their first real test in a while, and it's clear that they failed it. While Miguel Layún scored and assisted for El Tri and Bobby Wood replied for the USA, they didn't have the star quality to really make a breakthrough, even after Mexico had Salcedo sent off late on for time wasting. Now, the USA actually rolled out a 3-5-2. Jurgen Klinsmann thought he could catch Mexico out by including Timmy Chandler in his lineup, but Miguel Layún simply trotted over to the dugout, had a little word, and the next thing you knew, Mexico had changed to 4-4-2. Easy for them.
Seamless.
Now, thankfully, there was no racial violence in Ohio. There were fears before the game that we might see some tensions in the aftermath of last week's election. But as it was, that didn't happen, and Mexico ran out 2-1 winners. Incredible scenes.
But what we all want to know, Pato, is climate change real, or is it just a concoction by the, Greens, as Trump would put it? So let us know in the comments below. And is the moon made of cheese? Our next winners are Les Bleus, France, who beat Sweden 2-1 on a very poignant afternoon, Pato, in Paris. Tell me a little bit more about the game.
Yeah, there was a muted atmosphere a year on from the Bataclan attacks. But in the game itself, Pogba and Payet scored while Forsberg netted for the Swedes. He'd actually put them in the lead 10 minutes into the second half, but then Pogba headed home from Payet's cross and the West Ham man capitalised on a defensive mix-up to get the points. France are now on 10 points at the top of their group. That's 3 points above the Netherlands and Sweden. And Dimitri Payet is very much the man in form. He's been involved in 4 of France's last 6 goals with 2 goals and 2 assists. So the West Ham man in incredible form right now.
If we're talking about being involved, Pato, here's a little stat for you involving Antoine Griezmann. Since his debut in 2014, he's played 39 of France's 41 games.
Wow.
That is mad. The guy is proving indispensable to both club and country. As you say, very dominant performance from France. 66% possession, 21 shots and 7 on target. Sweden could only manage 1 on target, and that, of course, being Forsberg's goal. They've now won 4 and drawn 1 since that defeat to Portugal at the Euro 2016 final. So it looks like very much a case of allez les bleus. They're going to the World Cup, aren't they, Pat?
Yes, indeed they are. But can they win it? Can they recover from that horrible defeat at the final of Euro 2016? Let us know in the comments below. Our next losers are Austria, who lost 1-0 to the Republic of Ireland. Mate.
They certainly did, Patrick. It was a fairly evenly contested game with both teams having 50% of the possession, but Austria created way more in terms of chances. They created 13 to Ireland's 6. I'm not keeping this up. In fact, the Republic of Ireland scored with their only shot on target. That's how attritional, how boring this game was, especially for the first 40 minutes. Ireland came with a game plan though, as they so often have done with Martin O'Neill away from home. Only 3 players, Hendrick, Walters and McLean, spent more time in the opposition's half than they did in their own half. They basically sat back, let Austria press and then launched a counter-attack. That was very much the vein of McLean's goal, Pato. And they beat Austria for the first time since 1963. There's a little nugget for you.
Well, actually, I've got a better nugget than that.
Oh.
This was their first competitive away win against a team seeded higher than them since 1967. mate.
Teach me, Patrick. It's a lovely stat, mate.
Unbelievable scenes. They're now in a great position to qualify. They've got 10 points from an available 12. Really good stuff. But this game, like Chris says, was pretty dull to start with before Seamus Coleman put in a brilliant block on Marko Arnautovic just before half-time. And Marcel Zabitzer also hit the bar with a chip. Jonathan Walters could have bagged a goal from 6 yards out, made it a bit more comfortable, but he's shit. And as Marcel Coller's pained expression shows, it's not now mathematically impossible for Austria to qualify, but it is very, very difficult. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games, mate. That's horrendous. But Ireland now 2 points clear of Serbia and Wales. It looks like they're going to the World Cup.
Come on, the Paddies.
Our next winners, Patrice, are Italy and specifically Belotti, who beat Liechtenstein 4-0.
Yes, indeed they did. That actually equals their biggest ever away victory, which implies to me that they've never really been that good away from home.
Especially when you consider they scored 4 goals in the first half.
Well, yeah, they didn't push on at all in the second half. Chris said he was watching the highlights, 9 minutes long, a minute and a half spent on the second period. But Italy are now unbeaten in 54 qualifying games. That is unbelievable.
Impressive.
However, this is only their first clean sheet in 5 games, which is pretty unusual given the reputation of the Italians. But they were utterly dominant in this game. 61% possession, 30 shots, 17 on target. They also completed more than double the number of passes of their opposition, which is what you'd expect with De Rossi and Verratti in midfield. And it would have been more had it not been for the heroics of Liechtenstein goalkeeper Jela, who made several very good saves, including an absolute scorcher from Candreva early doors.
It was lovely, Pato, and unusually, the old boy Ventura, the new manager, he set it with an ultra-attacking 4-2-4.
Spearheaded by Immobile and Belotti. I was particularly impressed by Bonaventura and Candreva. I didn't know their delivery was that good. Hey, Candreva putting some gorgeous whippers in. But as you say, a lot of the responsibility fell on Verratti, on De Rossi, and they clearly didn't suffer as a side. Absolute midfield metronomes. Italy completed 520 passes between them, so pretty impressive all around. But Belotti was clearly man of the match. The Torino man grabbed 2 goals. He also scored an outrageous goal that was disallowed, rightly so, for offside, and he put on a lovely assist with an athletic header for Immobile. Coincidentally, our nickname for Patrick, but pronounced immobile in that case. It was a fairly routine victory for Italy, but their bench, Pato, not convinced by Italy's bench.
No.
They brought on the likes of Ida and Zaza. I mean, Ida huffs and puffs, but Zaza's never blowing the house down, is he, mate?
Quality.
Dreadful.
Been working
Dreadful.
on that over the weekend.
I mean, we spoke about Brazil's strength and depth. Italy don't seem to have that, do they, mate?
No, indeed, and Darmian is still getting into the team despite his poor form at club level. So there are some misfits there.
Definitely.
Time will tell whether Ventura can mould those misfits into a quality team like Antonio Conte did. But how will Italy do at the next World Cup? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Our final losers of the week are Greece. No, not because democracy has been f***ed over, one of their greatest inventions. It's because they drew 1-1 at home with Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Lovely, relevant,
You're welcome.
topical. Let's make this section nice and quick, Pato, because I actually stuck them in the losers section when I thought they were going to lose, and they equalised in the 95th minute. Tazvales scored with a stunning shot from 25 yards, it has to be said, but Bosnia dominated, had more possession, they had more shots, they opened the scoring when Pjanic's venomous free kick came back off the post, hit the Greece goalkeeper, and went in, Pato. But that wasn't the height of the drama, was it? Believe it or not.
No, mate.
We had a little shorts incident.
Yeah, influential defender Papadopoulos was red-carded in this game after he got into a little tussle with Edin Dzeko. Now, you've got to feel a bit sorry for the Greece man because Dzeko had pulled his shorts down. Unbelievable.
Outrageous behaviour.
He was not a happy boy, but now he's going to sit out the March games. Disappointing for him. But look, they're still 3 points ahead of their rivals in the group, but 2 behind Belgium, who top it at the moment. But they have played Gibraltar, Estonia and Cyprus, so you'd expect them to be doing well. They still need to play Belgium twice, so who knows what will happen there.
Free scoring Belgium.
Yeah, Greece, you're in our losers.
No more internationals till March! Special mentions in this week's winners category include Egypt, who beat Ghana 2-0 at home. The Pharaohs running right there, and they are now unbeaten at home since 2012, Pato. Very impressive stuff.
It is impressive stuff. Belgium, meanwhile, beat Estonia 8-1. Lukaku got a brace, Dries Mertens got a hat-trick, and if you want to hear more about that game, head over to Winners and Losers on Football Daily's main channel.
Why can't England ever beat anyone 8-1?
Who cares, mate? Rubbish.
So that was the Euro roundup, come international roundup, guys. Have we missed anyone out? I'm sure you'll let us know in the comments below.
And if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to check out our new show on Euro Football Daily. It's called Stat Wars and involves me getting pied in the face and John Babb turned into a hologram. So make sure you check that one out.
And as ever, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Laters.
Off.